MVP down here in the 6 o'clock position, the one, the only Dongraegu. And his opponent currently 0-1 in this series, playing for Team Evil Geniuses. This is Huck. So Grubby, what does Huck have to do here to come back in this series? He's got to be at a little bit of a strange spot mentally because he was feeling so confident going into this game. What do you as a player need to make sure happens so that you don't lose your mental momentum?
Well, you got to treat every map by itself. Take it on a case-to-case basis. Obviously, you know you're going to play various different maps, and you probably have your plans per player, per map, per race, and so forth. So while his plan on Daybreak failed, it must not necessarily mean that it will go badly on Antigua. So I feel like you should just move beyond that part and say, okay, that happened. I'm now going to focus on this game. And if you keep your cool, there's definitely no reason that this should snowball at this point in the game. He's only 0-1 behind. He still has chances to turn it around. It's his first game in the tournament, I do believe.
This will be his second game. Yeah.
Okay, well, it doesn't have to spiral out of control in any event. And maybe just, I feel like last game, maybe he just, he had prepared with the Zergs, who played not quite so much aggression and went into Mutalis faster. Right. And then Huck would have looked like a genius.
Yeah, because he would have already been prepared for those Mutalists and been one step ahead. Yeah, but I mean, as Chef touched on so well, I mean, if you're prepared for Mutalists and I only keep building roaches, yeah, I win.
And however, it must be said that Dongraegu is usually very aggressive with that kind of play, with the roaches and zerglings already. So did he play quite knowing that he's going up against Dongraegu, or did he deliberately shut down his mind to Dongraegu, as it might lead to uncontrollable fits of fear? Right, like, oh my god, it's Dongraegu. It's like, no, he's just a Zerg, I'm gonna play my game. And maybe that's actually okay, in order to keep your mentality strong. So let's take a look at what he's doing now. He went for a wall-off at the Nexus, which is a little bit more economical than a wall-off at the ramp. And it also has several other advantages. Mainly, once you get to the mid-game and there are Mutalists out, you need to cannon, in theory, only 3 places. Okay. All 3 Nexi, rather than all 3 Nexi and your front ramp. Right. Yeah, so Mutalists are, of course, a big part of Dongraegu's play. So for many reasons, this is the wall-off that Huck and many other Protosses by now prefer.
Right, so now we actually have DRG. He's starting to move out to his third and get that underway. So now, I want to talk a little bit about Huck's position. With the strategy that Huck went for last time, is that something that he should be willing to try again? Should he try to go for that Robo once again? Because it was undetected, and he did perhaps have a pretty large window of opportunity, and if those drones haven't been pulled, he could have been in a much better position. But is it worth trying again? Or is that something where you now say, okay, there's no way I can do it because DRG is clearly just too prepared?
Well, I don't think we will see it again. I don't think that's the type of strategy you should try twice in a row. Okay. And it didn't work the first time. I feel like almost certainly it's not going to work the second time. We've got 4 Zerglings now behind Huck's minerals. They will not be able to get close enough to kill this amount of probes, because they can actually just skirt towards the right side of the minerals with that cannon in range there. And the Zerglings are choosing to go on the map, perhaps choosing to cover the Dongraegu tower and maybe go around a bit to see if there's any hidden probes on the map. We'll have to see about that. No surprises here from Dongraegu, who has gone for no gas and triple hatchery, getting queens and drones mainly for this stage in the game, knowing that the Protoss cannot be aggressive with a Forge Fast Expand opening. Now, as for you were asking, what do you think Huck will do if it's not the Prism? Maybe you're wondering. What else will he do?
Stargate. Hey, maybe we're going to see some of that Phoenix play.
I think he's going to throw up a Stargate, bro. Yeah? I'm so glad that
you got it.
Yeah. No, actually, I was going to predict wrong, so this is way better. Yeah, Stargate. Usually we see 1 Void Ray and then Phoenixes. Okay. But I actually don't see Huck going a lot of Stargate. I'm a little surprised by this. I expected we would.
You don't see him going Stargates generally in his play?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, that's true. I thought he'll go a little back to Huck basics with a very high gateway amount. Yeah. But let's see what he does. We cannot hope to predict what goes in the mind of these crazy geniuses and lunatics. Stargate finished. First Void Ray on the way. We've also got the attack upgrade out already. And the Warp Gate research is at 70%, so it does not look like it's lining up to like a kind of 4 Warp Gate research.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be doing a huge
Yeah, we do see gateways being added, but
it's not a massive amount. We can see that he has enough money saved up to add them on if he wants to. Oh, and of course, as we start talking about him having the money available, he goes for it. And there, I mean, can we expect that? Yep, he's going to actually throw down 1 and 2 more, man. So that's going to put him at a total of 6 gateways total. So this is going to be some really heavy 2-base aggression. He knows that he needs to strike on DRG before he's prepared.
Yeah,
right? He needs to catch him in that awkward timing.
He's also hiding pylons on the map. Dongraegu does not necessarily know about it. Will move his Zerglings now in position here at the bottom to find that pylon. We do have a second pylon towards the left middle-ish of the map, and the probe has now, funnily enough, gone uncontested through the middle. Since all Zerglings were taken away and none were covering the Dongraegu tower, Huck is now hiding a pylon here right under the Overlord vision.
Under,
so most of the pylons will be found here. We are talking about a wow. How many gateways have we got? 9 gateways. 1 Void Ray into 9 gateways. We do not have a 3rd or 4th gas. Huck is going to make massive amounts of Zealots and Stalkers and using this Void Ray purely for a little bit of air attack, air support, and vision. So huge forces coming in here for Huck. No sentries at all. We will not see any sentries.
Pretty big Warpin coming in onto the high ground. He does get a lot of those Zealots in there, but of course we do already have 1 Spine Crawler there, and there's a lot of Roaches as well. The 2nd Spine Crawler finishing, and the Spore Crawler is just about done as well. So this is pretty much going to entirely halt Huck's aggression. Now we see with that, DRG actually stopped half of one of Huck's Warpins already.
Dongraegu is making 15 drones. Was it genius? Huck made it look like a Void Ray 4-gate. He warped in those Zealots, as you're forced to do at that time. Maybe it was a little late. Maybe Dongraegu is scratching his head a little bit at that, but 15 drones followed up. Will this now catapult into a very big advantage for Huck? I don't know. Sure. Dongraegu has started on the army train now.
DRG actually had a lot of larvae already saved up. He's followed up with yet another 7 roaches behind that, and he already just has so many units remaining from before. He does have those oh-so-crucial spine crawlers down already. So really, Huck being able to push through this is going to be really difficult. Now behind this, Huck has also decided to expand. We actually see that Void Ray go down, and that's going to hurt a little bit. Now we see one of those forward pylons as well. Those queens just getting out there and doing their job. And now it's looking like Huck is actually forced to retreat.
Yeah, and you don't really want to go very late gases, 9 gateway into expansion. That's not. No,
that's not a standard build.
No, that's not actually. Like if you were playing against the computer without any opponent intervention, you wouldn't say this is the ideal way to just roller coaster into the late game. It's going to give me the most economy, the most smooth transition. So it is definitely a category I'm going to change of plans. Yeah, it hasn't completely worked out very well for Huck. We've got massive creep spread here from Dongraegu because he made so many queens, which is very, very useful in this situation. Creep will cover the entire map in just moments. Huck, he didn't have his Stalkers ready. We got supply blocked a bit. During that warp in of the Zealots, was it indeed a deception, or did it just all go wrong? Did he mess it up?
Man, that's going to be the question that I'm sure Huck is going to be asking himself after watching this game, right? Because it felt like maybe he could have been in a comfortable spot, but he didn't get enough vision up into that 3rd to know that all of those roaches were there. And really, I think that if he had known how many units DRG already had, that he wouldn't have even tried that, right? There would have been no point in him even feigning.
Yeah, definitely true.
Yeah, DRG just already had too many things out there. And now we see DRG once again already supply blocked at just about the 13-minute mark. He's at just about supply cap again with all those roaches. His tunneling claws are just about to finish. He's got 34 more Zerglings on the way, and he's also begun researching pathogen glands. He already has that infestation pit done, and really DRG has such a commanding force here.
Yeah, we've even seen queens in the attack. You could almost call them manor queens. I mean, he didn't actually need them probably to go and win this fight. Huck will be able to force field units out for a certain amount of time, but they won't last forever. And look here, roaches come in, tunneling close, moving closer, taking down so many sentries, and the energy on the sentries is dwindling. We see no Immortals here. Robo Bay has finished, but no Colossus in production yet, and Huck is just shivering with fear as these roaches come in.
Yeah, so as we see that energy dwindle, so does Huck's defense. And that means that he's not going to have any way to put down those force fields, which means that DRG now has free reign over that third. He's going to be able to move up there, and he can actually even start to flank with a few of his units as well. As long as he baits Huck's units out of position, he's pretty much just about going to have this third for free. Now we have so many Zerglings coming in from behind and being able to surround that force out on the third ramp. And man, DRG is just in great position. He's also adding on even more infestors. Should this game continue, he's going to be able to stop any and all aggression. Man, and yep, and there goes Huck, forced to tap out once again. That puts DRG 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, poor game there by Huck, to be quite honest. I mean, he can do better. Other people can do better. It was not going the right way for him. And I feel like partly, I mean, it was a pretty smart strategy. He wanted to hit Dongraegu hard after looking to be almost too high on the macro. He was too high on the economy in the first game, and he said, maybe you think I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to hit you hard with a 9 gate. And that's 3 more gates than we usually see with the Void Ray all-in. And that's because he didn't take his gases, so he will have way more minerals to spare, and he just wanted to make massive amount of units and herp-derp into Dongraegu's base.
Right, and now also worth noting there, we saw, even though that he built 9 warp gates, he only warped in with 6 of them there with that assault. So really, like, how much did you need those extra 3 gateways anyway?
Probably had to do with him losing all the pylons. He lost the pylon bottom left, he lost the pylon on the right, but hey, let's see. What do you guys think about it, Chef and Tasteless?
To be totally honest, I am really disappointed with Huck in that game. Sheth and I were sitting there in the early game and noticing that he had so much chrono that it was just not being used for anything. He could have chronoed the Forge. He could have chronoed. What else could he have chronoed? The Nexus. Yeah, those are good for chronos as well.
Probes are good.
Probes are pretty good, guys. Or you could even chrono, the warp gate, I guess. But yeah, he did not spend his chrono right. And then the kind of haphazard attack initially on the expansion, where he warped in the Zealots when it was clear that there was going to be roaches.
Yeah.
No matter what, and obviously Zealots suck against roaches.
I really liked the idea of it. Like, okay, let's make a whole bunch more gates than anyone ever makes, and then let's just go with it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then, like, he didn't do it. He's like, well, let's like pretend we're doing an all-in with making 6 Zealots.
Right.
And then, like, well, no, you actually have to do it if you're gonna go 9 gate. You can't.
Yeah, you go to 9 gate and transition into another base after that. The other thing that was weird is that then when he got the expansion, he made 3 more gates. So by now he's 12 gate. He's also trying to go for Colossus. I mean, you might as well have added an extra Stargate to keep making Void Rays, because that's physically impossible to support off 3 bases. Yeah, and it looks like, I guess, the game's going to start. So, Grubby, Rob, take it away.
Man, so this puts Huck at a rough spot, right? He's 0-2. He was feeling really good going into this. And Game 3 is going to be on Tal'Darim Altar. Do you think that he's going to have any more surprising builds that nobody's going to be able to predict moving into this?
Well, people think Tal'Darim Altar is a pretty good map for Protoss, so I would love to see him play a little bit more standard, a little bit more in the middle, rather than